All right, everybody, Sylvia here. I am behind my truck, still in the Palm Springs area. I think I've been here for about 3 months now, and it's been just a great spot to wait out the coronavirus. It is starting to get hot. The furnace is getting cranked up, and so I'm probably going to have to think about moving pretty quickly, but it's just been a wonderful place to stay, and I really want to give a big shout out to Joni, the priest of this Catholic church, my friend, who's let me stay all this time. And another benefit of being here is I've had an address, and so I've been able to get mail and have things delivered. And so recently I ordered a couple of adapters for my very favorite camera, and I hope you guys will indulge me as I geek out today and talk about these adapters and my very favorite camera and how I use it and why it's just a wonderful camera for cycle videos. Come on, Myrtle, let's go. All right, everybody, so today I'm gonna geek out on camera gear, talk about one of my very favorite cameras, the Insta360 ONE X2, and a couple of adapters I just bought for it. Thank you for indulging me. But first, I gotta tell you, I have some very big, exciting news. I have a second sponsor for my channel. Mickey O'Brien from Laid Back Cycles has offered to sponsor my YouTube channel, and I'm very excited about this. Laid Back Cycles is one of the bigger shops on the West Coast. They're located just outside of Sacramento. They sell bikes and a lot of different kinds of trikes, regular and electric assist. And they also offer a lot of group rides from their shop all month long. And so I really want to say welcome. A big welcome to Mickey O'Brien and Laid Back Cycles. This is going to be a fun partnership. So all right, let me guys show you what I want to talk about today. So this is my Insta360 ONE X2. This is the second iteration of this camera. I bought the first one in probably 2019. Loved it. What's interesting about this camera is that it captures 360. So it captures everything, front, back, up, down, and get the cap off. And you can see there's a camera on this side, there's another one here, and when it is shooting, it is actually taking two videos which get stitched together. And one of the things about this camera is because the lenses are protruding, you can never set it down, otherwise you'll be setting it down on one of the lenses. But when those videos get stitched together, it removes the invisible, it's called the invisible selfie stick, plus anything that's on the side of the camera. And so what this means is there is a space to add some accessories. The biggest upgrade for this newest camera, the ONE X2, is they offer an external mic jack so that you can add an external mic. One of the real issues with sound for pretty much any camera is the internal microphones are really not very good. And this camera, you can see the selfie stick is probably about 1 foot long, and this is in its most collapsed dimensions. It will expand to 3 feet. And so when I'm using this camera, it's 3 feet out in front of me, and it's just too far away to get good sound of me talking or maybe my friends talking. Mostly what you're going to get is traffic noise or wind noise. And so to have a way to add an external mic is fantastic. And the way this works is you plug this in, and this gets attached to this Ulanzi mic cold shoe, like that. So this is this cold shoe. It's Ulanzi PT20. It was about $20, and I got it off the Insta360 website. And so it's giving you a very compact way to keep everything close to the camera so that when you're taking video, the camera will actually stitch all of this out and it won't be shown in the resulting footage. And so this is the receiver, and then this is the part that I'm going to wear, and these two pieces talk together wirelessly. Pretty cool. So then the other piece that I keep is this tripod foot, and this is for a monopod, and so it just sticks on there like this. And then this is made by DJI. I cannot remember what I paid for it. I bought it many years ago. It's a little bit heavier than a lot of the tripod feet that are available, but I like it because it gives me more stability. The other thing that it has is you can expand the feet, and so that just gives you a little bit more stability because with this camera, you know, sitting up in the wind, there is a possibility that it could get blown over, and so with this foot it will be a lot more stable. Okay, so first things first, this camera costs about $400. I know that seems like a lot, but it's pretty normal for a camera in this niche of action cameras. It comes with the selfie stick, and the biggest thing that it comes with is the software. The software is where the magic happens, where you can take all your shots, be extremely creative, and that software is included and it's free and it's fantastic. So let me show you a shot that I did recently. It's a very popular shot with bike vlogs, hiking vlogs. I call it the ride by or the walk by shot, and it's often used when somebody is getting up in the morning, they're getting packed, they're putting everything on their bike or their trike, and they're leaving camp, and they show themselves riding towards the camera, and then they show themselves leaving and off into the distance. And so what they're going to do is set up a camera on a tripod and set it out far enough that they can ride towards it, and then they're going to stop and they're going to turn the camera around. They're going to ride past the camera and back through the shot, hoping to be in the same speed that the first shot was taken, and then they're going to ride off into the distance, turn around, come back to the camera, turn it off, and pack it up. Now, one really big difference between this camera and a traditional camera is with this camera you can do it all in one shot, and with a traditional camera, a point and shoot, a GoPro, you have to frame the shot, kind of guesstimate where you hope you're going to be as you pass the camera. And I can tell you from experience that a lot of times I will look at the footage later and it's completely unusable. I didn't guess right. I've got more sky, I'm cut off, or, you know, as I'm approaching the camera, maybe I'm having autofocus issues. And with this camera, you don't have to worry about any of it because you never have to frame the shot. You just turn it on and start filming. And then later with the software, you're going to decide with keyframes where you want to be in the shot. And so let me show you this shot right now. I'm out of frame and I'm coming towards the camera. You can see that I'm actually zooming in, and then as I approach the camera, I'm zooming out. And then as I pass the camera, I'm able to turn the focus so that it follows me, right? I'm always in the frame, and then I go off into the distance and I'm zooming in again. So there you go. So that's a pretty interesting use of this camera. So let me show you a few more. Okay, so first things first, I thought I would show you what it's like to use the camera without an external mic. So you can hear why you would want to have an external mic. I'll go right into a parking lot of a church next door. Okay, so now I've got the external mic jack connected and I'm using the Rode Wireless Go microphone. I've got it here on my shirt. So this shot where I'm showing my entire body and you can see my feet pedaling is impossible with a traditional camera. In order to get a shot where you see somebody's whole body, their feet, you would have to set up that camera on a tripod. And the best you could do is just ride past. And so with this camera, I can show all crazy kinds of angles, and I can put it out to the side. Here's the other side. I can even have it pointed behind me so that you can see the back of the trike. And what I often do if I'm going over a bridge is I'll have it straight up. And then I can look down, I can look up at interesting structures. And so you can see that, you know, this is a very, very useful camera for different perspectives. Another really wonderful use of this camera is very similar to the first shot I showed, where you set it up on tripod feet, and if you are in a group, maybe you're doing a group ride. Some of the group rides that I do in Portland with my Pacific Northwest recumbent cycling group, there'll be 30, 40 people, and some of the riders are so fast, the only time I see them is at the beginning of the ride. And I really like to do videos of the rides, and it's really fun to be able to include everyone that was on the ride. And so what I'll do with this camera is I'll set it up on the tripod feet at the very beginning of the ride and have everybody ride past it. And I'll be the last person in the ride, and then as I go past it, I'll just pick up the camera, pack it up, and then rejoin everybody. And it gives you some idea of the creative possibilities and options with this Insta360 ONE X2, particularly with these two new adapters that let you add external sound to your footage. And until I was able to add an external mic to the Insta360 ONE X2, I was really using this camera more as a novelty, kind of the way I use my drone shots. So I've got these, you know, really nice shots, but they're more like filler. They're beautiful and they do add to the story, but there was never any sound with them, and so it was just kind of one-dimensional, and you couldn't really use a lot of it. So now, with the addition of sound and this camera, it almost makes it at the level of my GoPro. There's just a couple of reasons that GoPro is still at the top of the pack, and one is accessibility. You know, everybody knows I ride with a side seat mount bag, and everything I need on my rides is in this bag. So my GoPro, my phone, my Sony point and shoot, everything fits in this bag, including the Insta360 ONE X2, but it will not fit on the invisible stick. And so anytime I want to use this camera, I have to stop and put the whole thing together, because I just can't figure out a way to store it on the trike safely and have it be accessible. So that's one issue, and then the other issue is it requires using separate software. It's proprietary software from Insta360 ONE X, and it is genius. In fact, you can use any 360 footage in their software. Take advantage of that. It's free. Just download it. You don't have to own a camera to download this software or use it with another 360 camera. But it does take extra time, and it is something to learn and get comfortable with. I found it to be extremely intuitive, easy to use. You know, I'm 62 years old and I'm kind of learning video as I go, and I was able to use it the first time I opened it. And you have to use keyframes. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you can position your point of view anywhere you want in the frame. And the creativity, it's just a lot of fun, but it does take extra time. And so when you finish fixing your shots the way you want them, and you export them as MP4, and you put them with all the other shots from maybe your GoPro. I've got a Sony. I oftentimes have 4 different cameras that I have footage for any of my videos, and so I'll take all those clips and I'll put them into Final Cut Pro, and that is what I use to make my videos for YouTube. So, all right, I I hope that wasn't too geeky. Thank you for indulging me. And once again, a big shout out to Mickey O'Brien at Laid Back Cycles for sponsoring my channel. I'm very excited about this partnership. So please, you know, say hello to Mickey. Leave a comment in the comment section below. You know how much I love hearing from everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And I hope you remain safe and healthy. And as always, thank you for watching.